A lot of times partners are chasing things that they don't even know what they're chasing. And sometimes it's an education. You know what I mean? Like we're upper funnel most of the time. And that's okay because you need that.
This is the Snarketing Podcast. For marketers, by marketers. Talking to marketers with just a touch of snark. Now, here are your hosts, Valerie Vespa and Matt Worst.
Turkey for you, turkey for me. Can you finish it?
Yeah, the Adam Sandler Thanksgiving turkey song. I like to eat my turkey out of a big brown shoe also. A turkey. This is the Thanksgiving episode of the Snarketing Podcast, in case you were curious. And I'm Matt Worst.
And I'm Valerie Vespa.
And you've got two giant turkeys ready to talk shop. We're going to carve it up.
Ooh.
Are we going to serve it hot?
Yeah. Pour some gravy on it.
I don't really know what that double entendre or pun means. But
I don't know.
You know what? We were good until that point. So let's just get into this episode. It is the Thanksgiving episode of the Snarketing Podcast. So thank you to everyone who's listening, our new fans and followers, our longtime lifers, at least for the last 3 seasons. We are coming into holiday hot. It's crazy. The year is like, what happened?
Coming to an end. Yeah.
Yeah. Although it's been holidays, according to media marketers and advertisers, since like late August. It was Black Friday on the Labor Day Friday before the summer ended. At this point, that's how early we're getting started. But what are you thankful for, Valerie? Tell me what's on your mind.
I'm thankful for my burning desire to be more empathetic towards individuals versus being angry.
Wow, that was a lot.
I know.
So I just heard empathy, curiosity, compassion.
Yeah.
Well, but was there anything else? That was like a turducken of emotions right there.
It's definitely a turducken kind of a year. You need to be a turducken this year in order to handle it. I feel like it's been a heavy year. And so I think as I wind down from this, I realize how I've been able to save myself from really fully losing it is that. So I'm grateful for that.
No, that's actually very similar to what I was going to say. Had you decided to actually care and ask about what I'm thankful for.
What are you grateful for?
Oh, thank you. I thought you'd never ask. Interestingly enough, I'm someone who does well with instability, not, emotional instability or financial instability, but I can steer the course into stormy weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get motivated by that. And while I wouldn't wish the extreme nature of some of the instability happening in the world or society or
of course
just anything like that, like there's a lot of fun stuff happening in my life professionally. Like we're doing well. I'm enjoying watching my kids. Yeah, I'm building my family. I'm building things in my community. So I'm just grateful that I've got that diverse set of outlets that I can tap into.
I think that's really important. So good for you.
You know who else is diverse and has a number of different outlets that she taps into and creates outputs for is our guest today.
Oh, God, it's so good. They love your segues.
She is a true winner in every sense of the word. And I'm not just saying that because I may or may not have like a professional crush on her. I met Anjali like advertising week through our good friend Cherian. She was on a panel with him. And I was like enamored by all of them and just everything they said. Mm-hmm. And then I basically stalked her and made her my friend. And now she's on the podcast. So
you're like a safe stalker.
I think that's I should put that in my LinkedIn bio. But what Anjali's LinkedIn bio says is that she is the global head of creative solutions at Time Out. Now, I am curious what that means because that's also a turducken or...
Feels like a dream job.
Yeah, it's like so much packed in there. So let's unpack it now.
Let's do it.
Today on the Snarketing Podcast, we're joined by Anjali Virmani, Global Head of Creative Solutions at Time Out Media, the global brand that helps millions of people discover the best of their cities across 300 plus destinations worldwide. From her early days in publishing to leading global creative strategy for one of the world's most iconic lifestyle brands, Anjali brings sharp insights, heart, and a little sass to every conversation. Let's dive into what it really takes to keep culture, creativity, and connection alive in modern media.
Anjali, welcome to the Snarketing Podcast, and thank you for being here. And thank you for being here on our Thanksgiving episode. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Oh.
Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for having me.
That was like a nostalgia pang there, Valerie. Are you not excited? You don't like Thanksgiving?
No, I really enjoy Thanksgiving. I really like the holiday. I don't necessarily like the American cuisine tradition anymore. I feel like I'd rather do like lobsters and I don't know, something different, completely not Thanksgiving.
Angela, you weren't born in the United States though, right? So is Thanksgiving something that has become meaningful to you, or is it just kind of like another American holiday that is, on the calendar?
Well, it is now because I have children. I will say growing up, it wasn't a big thing in my home. But after getting married and marrying like a family of football lovers and all of that, so we do.
You got no choice now.
Yeah. We I spend Thanksgiving with my husband's family, and my kids love it. So it's a bigger part of my life now, but definitely not growing up.
Well, we're thankful you're here. Thankful you're here, and for anyone listening, hope you're enjoying your holiday. Maybe this is a great way to like prep the meal, is to have us on in the background.
What was your Thanksgiving version? Where are you from originally?
So I was born in Manchester, England, and I was there till I was 10. But my parents are both from India. So they went nice. India, England, America.
Nice. All right, good.
Okay. Well, let's get into the more recent phase of your life. Although this incredible journey that you've had and the position of real respect and admiration that so many of us have for you in the industry at the intersection of media and marketing really started with publishing, right? So media marketing, you went from Manchester to Maryland to Manhattan. We're keeping with an alliterative theme here. But what's something that's stayed true with you as you've grown through these various chapters of your career?
So, I did I'm sorry, I'm going to backtrack a bit, but my college essay to get into University of Maryland was born English, raised in America, but Indian at heart. And I do think that like kind of encompasses everything that I am. I've never been able to tone down how much I love being Indian, but then I also have all these like British nuances that come forth. I don't have an accent, but I say the word properly in front of stuff. And people are like, why do you say that? I'm like, I don't know. I just like, I was 10. It got ingrained, And then I think, I'm definitely American. I came here when I was 10. So most of all my life has been here. But there are those formative years. And then growing up in a South Asian household with immigrant parents, like you're just, and honestly, like in those days, the framing around being in this country with parents like mine is they were a little bit fearful because everything was unknown. So there was a lot of like, don't be too American. And it's like, why not? It's awesome here. And this is what I am. And I think that was just their way of saying, I'm really scared. I don't understand what this means. So please don't lose the Indian values that we're trying to give you. They just didn't have the tools and the language. And these are all things we worked on later. And I talk to my mom very openly about now. And it's how I can convey the right values to my own children, because I really believe in those South Asian values. And I believe it shows up in every part of my life.
You had talked about earlier, like breaking out of this mold of like the good Indian girl and like sort of the expectations that family and such had on you. So how do you think that's shaped you and what you do and what that means to you now, especially as a leader helping brands embrace cultural nuance?
So I think that for me, the good Indian girl, I love that you picked up on that, but I think that, most of that is being fearful of judgment and what the outside world will think of you. So I think I lead with more empathy and grace. Like I feel like I'm not a very judgmental person because of it, because I feel like I was always scared of judgment and felt like I was being judged. Whether that's true or not, it was just something I embodied because in my home, it was about the outward facing person, and you're in a new country, and this is what we believe, and this is what we expect you to show up as. So I think for me, that was a lot of pressure. You weren't supposed to make mistakes. Like I know the narrative now is you learn from your mistakes, you grow from your mistakes, failures help you, and all of that stuff. Like we didn't have any of that language. You were not to fail. You were only to succeed, and you were only to be perfect. And that's really tough. So I hope.
By the way, do we have the same parents? Is that possible? But those values are certainly generational, right?
Yes. There's definitely a generational aspect. For
definitely
sure.
A cultural thing to it too, though. I mean, there definitely is.
Well, and also, like, were you only allowed to be a doctor, accountant, and a lawyer? Because I was only allowed.
Of course, and I'm a failure.
Things.
Yeah, we're failures.
Me too.
Yes,
we failed. Okay.
Yeah. In a good way, though. We failed in a good way.
Yeah. We failed up.
We did.
So I think the grace and the empathy is really the biggest thing that I got out of that. Like I meet young people all the time that are insecure or overconfident, and I believe I have enough grace for that.
Well, the good news is in our industry, there is no judgmental personality either. But as now we get into the more career defining steps that you've taken, right? From Hearst and Condé Nast, like these big beacons of publishing and media, and now Time Out, obviously, that has changed a lot since we've all started out. Yeah. What was it like breaking into that world, though, given your background?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was really, really intimidating. And I started during, the height of the Devil Wears Prada. Like that culture existed in the places that I worked. I cried in a lot of bathrooms. I was scared a lot. Like I went through all of that, right? I sat in rooms where my idea wasn't heard by me, but heard by two other people. And it's the same thing. I went through all of that. It wasn't for a long period of time because I got into the industry in 2006. I want to say by 2012, like some of that was starting to diminish a bit. There was a little bit more awareness. I think Hearst is better than Condé Nast. Sorry, Condé Nast. But they did earn the name Condé Nasty. So,
Shots fired. Shots fired here.
They're all very aware. I think it's okay. But it's not like...
And they may not care either, by the way.
Yeah, for sure.
Fully.
I think a lot of that has subsided. But initially, I think it was really tough. And I did work and with a tremendous amount of insecurity.
I look at a lot of salespeople that I know today that grew up during that earlier era, and like they are some of the sharpest people. I mean, because of it. I mean, obviously they might have some trauma that they're carrying around from those experiences, but they are impressive.
In that evolution of you as a professional, were there either like unlock moments or some sort of step or a mentor that helped you to kind of make space for your voice to be heard?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this. I got into the industry a little bit later. I had done a couple other things prior to being in media and publishing. And once I did a couple years, I interviewed for a job at Town & Country. And when I interviewed there, I interviewed with a man, not a woman, which made a difference. And he made me feel a little bit more comfortable in my interview. And then he asked me for a project. He gave me a project, and it was essentially to create a version of Town & Country that felt like it related to me. So I went through Town & Country. If you guys know the magazine, affluent, very white. There's not at that point in 2011, not a single brown person in there, right? And I looked through, I was like, okay, I don't know why he asked me to do this because none of this relates to me. I don't know how I'm going to
You are neither town nor country. Yeah.
I'm neither town nor country, and I will never wear a white dress on my wedding because I fully plan being decked out in gold. So I came across the Town & Country wedding magazine. It was a quarterly back then, and I just recreated that magazine with a full Indian wedding. And I had all my own wedding pictures in there, my own narrative in there. And I was like, you know what? They're either going to love it or hate it. But this is what Town and Country should look like. And this is what I believe should be included. Now, fast forward like 20 years or whatever, they've got like so many South Asian weddings. It's everybody, like non-South Asians want a South Asian wedding and they're doing it, right? But that was not the case back then. And so I handed that in, I got the job, and that was a much better environment. They loved it. It was their whole thing. They kept it. Like 2 years later, they brought it and they were like, remember when you did this? And I'm like, yeah. And they have no idea how scared I was or how I thought I was making a statement of it's either going to work or I'm just never going to work in this industry again. I just didn't know. That was my pivotal moment, my tipping point, so to speak.
Yeah, well, it's like it sounds like you had this confidence level that maybe was being shut down in your earlier career. So that's lovely. I love that.
By the way, how could anyone ever not love an Indian wedding? I mean, it's the most colorful, just exuberant experience to be a part of.
Pure celebration. Yeah,
that's the best.
So Time Out has been around for over 50 years now.
1968.
It started as a listings guide in London and now is a global lifestyle network. So tell us a little bit about your role. Tell us what you're doing there and like describe, how Time Out today is changed and like how we're trying to attract certain people to the magazine and online.
Yeah, so I've been at Time Out almost 8 years, which is the longest stint I've had anywhere. And I believe quite the feat given media today. Like, I don't think anyone gets to stay anywhere that long. So I'm very proud of that. I started as a national director of creative solutions, which essentially was managing all of ad sales marketing for the US. I am now the global head of creative solutions, so I get to work with a lot of other teams across the world, all in an ad sales marketing and brand storytelling capacity. And I think the biggest, the proudest part of my job here is that we've really gone from being a company that covers and reports on different cities and tells you about different cities to being literally embedded within those cities. Because as you know, we were a magazine, now we're a digital media company, but along with that, we're also a hospitality company, and we're very much intertwined. It's not just media over here and hospitality over here. One cannot exist without the other. And I think that's the biggest shift and the reason we have this differentiating factor with our partners and with our audience, and also the global footprint, of course, which most people say they have, but they don't really have.
It's not just even the global piece of it. It's the fact that you're doing this from a digital perspective, but now you've also expanded into these marketplace, food experiences that in some ways is a manifestation of the culture that you're already covering and in some cases creating. But like to do this in hundreds of cities is mind-boggling. Like, how do you balance the global consistency of your brand, yet there is a need for hyper-local voices and culture that make each city unique?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's a lot of structure and a lot of soul, if I'm being honest, right? You need to have a unified brand mission. Our brand mission is so simple, and I think it's why it works. All we're trying to do is connect with an audience and make sure they have the best time and experience the most joy in their city. That is just the mission right there. Go out in your city and have fun, or go out in other cities and have fun. That's it. It's not complicated. And sticking to that is what's made this successful. I mean, you have this unified brand mission with tone and standards, of course. You need to have all of that. But then which builds consistency for your audience. But then you have local expertise, which builds relevance and trust, right? So you know what you're getting. We don't shy away from the local voices. We lean into the local voices. We're not trying to Starbucks the world. We're trying to make sure you taste the spice and we don't flatten it. And that's sort of the goal, right? It's just to deliver what exists and then create moments around what already exists.
So like during your 8 years, have there been moments where you've really had to pivot due to like consumer interest in certain types of narratives or content or creative, like, is there anything that you can point to where like you're like, wow, like there is something shifting here and we need to address it, or you noticed that things were your consumer base was speaking towards certain things and you kind of pivoted because of that? Like, just wondering if
I think from an audience perspective, what we've done is maintain a multi-generational audience. And the way we pivot is just, it's not that unique. We're just everywhere, right? Our younger audience finds us on social media. Our older audience is still going to our site, right? And our
Mhm.
even younger audience is on our TikTok handles. So sure, we've pivoted, we've reacted, but we're not doing anything different than anyone else. And the only thing that is different about us is that we are a prestige brand, we have longevity, and we are multi-generational. Like, I have met at least 3 dads who's been somewhere at one of our events with their kid, and their kid's done like a study abroad, and this guy's like, I only go to you guys for theater, and his kid's like, I did a study abroad in London, and that's how I figured out how to navigate that whole city, or I was in Madrid, or I was in Barcelona. And that story has happened to me 3 times in my 8 years. And I know it's not just those 3 parent kid relationships. So I think for us, the pivot is the platform, but I think our content is strong. I think our strategy is strong. We expand our strategy. We have our markets now. So we have a market in Union Square, New York, that's going to be more catered towards NYU students. So it'll be, younger comedians and different types of programming along with the great food. Dumbo is very, very touristy, so maybe we would do a little bit more theater there. It's just those types of reactionary things I don't think are very unique in marketing. I think we're all pretty good at that, but we do pivot with platform, and that's where the industry is as a whole, in addressing who they're reaching. I mean, we have a different audience on YouTube, we have a different audience on Instagram, we have this huge audience on Facebook, which always shocks me. I'm like, who still goes to that? But everyone does. So I mean, that's sort of where we are with the brand.
Well, I was going to ask you, if I am too old to hang out with the NYU kids, where in real life should I be hanging out now? But you don't need to give me that advice because I probably wouldn't take it. I'm a homebody anyway. But I am curious, actually, as you talk about these shifts, was there for you in the arc of your timeout period an actual timeout during COVID? Or like, can you think of the pre-COVID and post-COVID? Because I can imagine for a culturally relevant, influential, taste-making and taste-covering media experience, there wasn't a whole lot going on for that year. Right? How did you guys cope, pivot, adjust to that?
Well, I do need to build to that story because I'll tell you what we did. In 2018 and 2019, we opened our US markets. Okay. And I was very excited about this. We had these grand openings. I went to all of them. I was like, Chicago, Boston, New York, here we are. We used to only have 1 in Lisbon, and now we have 3 in the US. We're amazing. We're so smart. We are media, but don't worry, we're covered. We're branching out into hospitality. It's an amazing story. And then 2020 happens, and I'm like, don't worry, we have these big communal eating spaces. And so it was a challenging time for timeout. But what we did do is we pivoted. We put a red line through the out in timeout, and we made it time in. And then we had all of our content focus on the Instagram lives, the deliveries, the cocktails at home. And that still remains a huge tentpole for timeout. And it's very, very successful for us. And for all of us in advertising, like liquor brands love that. Delivery brands love that. So it ended up being a shift that we were able to take advantage of. Don't get me wrong, we did suffer. We had to close all our markets. Advertising was down. We weren't any different than anyone else. But from a content and brand perspective, we were able to stay relevant and connected to our audience. And in that moment, it was just about being connected to our audience, telling them where they could be safe, and telling them where they could get the best food, and telling them when to go on their balcony and cheer for the nurses and the essential workers. I mean, that's what our role was.
I just wanted to ask about the markets because I'm so intrigued by it. I've been to literally every single one that you named there, like Lisbon, all of them. But like, how do you see that model shifting? Like, is it still very like positive as far as the approach and the tactics? Like, are you even pivoting there in terms of like you mentioned, like performance versus or Broadway versus comedy or whatever? Like, how are you addressing that as you move forward?
Yeah, so I think the biggest shift we've made with market openings is the first, I want to say 10 of them were really huge spaces.
Yeah.
And what we've done is add to that format. Like Union Square is small, it's 7 kitchens, it's awesome. And we're just kind of adding to the format. We're exploring different sizes, different ways to do it, pop up
Okay.
activations and things like that. Now that the branding is so strong, if there's a city where we don't have a
Love it.
market yet, we're offering pop-up experiences, all under the same sort of ethos of our editors will curate it, will bring the best into one space, the
So
local
smart.
mom and pops and the Michelin, like whatever makes sense for that city will do. But yeah, we have pivoted and we have looked into different neighborhoods, different structures and formats.
It's interesting because I kind of grew up in the sports publishing space in this industry, and there was this expression where every athlete, or a concept that every athlete wanted to be an entertainer, every entertainer wanted to be an athlete. It's kind of the same way with publishers and brands, but we've moved into this more platform agnostic world. Do you still think of Time Out as a publisher, or is it now just more of a platform and an experience brand?
Definitely the latter. I never think of it as a publisher. I only have to check that box when somebody makes me. I never look at it that way. I mean, it really is so it's so myopic to look at it that way, right? We are digital. We're also out of home. We're experiential. We create moments. We lean into moments. We are a physical space. We are a restaurant. We are just a bunch of information that everybody needs. I mean, I do find the publisher category very limiting, and I don't see us in that category at all.
So if that convergence is happening, yet in media there's a fragmentation happening now with measurement chaos and AI generated everything. What keeps you up at night, or maybe keeps you inspired?
Well, so plenty of things keep me up at night, and I don't think we have enough time for that. But I will say
we can edit it out. It's fine. You can start listing it. We'll be your therapists.
What I do is, I draw from the fact that we kept one simple mission, right? It's simple and we stayed true to it, and it's how we've survived. I think the next era of winners are going to be brands who build trust, they surface quality, and they create meaningful moments, at least in the space of media that I'm in. And I think if we can just keep sticking to that, we will differentiate ourselves no matter what. And I think what's happening in this chaotic space of measurement and like, tell me what your KPI is and this is our ROI is that at the end of the day, we're all still human beings. We need to be inspired. We need to feel something. I feel like at the heart of like creativity, it's still there's humanity and there's empathy. And I'm sticking to that in everything I do. And even though I'm in advertising, right? I don't try to force an advertiser into a moment. I feel like what I'm trying to do is create a moment that an advertiser has or wants permission to be a part of. And I know this is a lot of words and I am a marketer, but I just think if you stay, and I know this word authentic is overused, but it works for us. And we have partners that are food and drink, CPG, technology, whatever it is. Like we are almost category agnostic now because I think we've stayed so true to who we are.
And like the KPIs are so like across the board, like varying, because it's not like you're just a straight publisher who's looking for, giving their clients a bunch of impressions, right? It's way more meaningful than that, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I think, we really do have to move from that race of chasing scale. And what I'm really trying to do is understand attention, understand why it matters and where to lean into it. I do think that scale is important depending on what it is. I also think, a lot of time a lot of times partners are chasing things that they don't even know what they're chasing, and sometimes it's an education. You know what I mean? Like we're upper funnel most of the time, and that's okay because you need that. We can be lower funnel if you have a pop-up or a restaurant or you want to sell a drink, but if you're going to make me sell your shampoo, I'm just not going to be able to do it.
But
And I try to be honest.
You said trust. Like, what's the value on trust? Because I agree. I think that's like a huge determining factor in the way people and consumers will think about brands moving forward.
So, I mean, I have to prove trust with data. I mean, there's no other way. And for that, it's just engagement. And I have enough solid engagement numbers to prove that we have a growing audience and also a loyal audience. And that's really where that lies. Stuff like that ends up being quite black and white, I think.
Well, what's not black and white, and you said this earlier, like your job is creative solutions, and creativity for me is never black and white, despite what data can prove, lift and all the performance metrics we want to talk about. Even attention metrics now are actual metrics.
Right.
But there's a difference between like creative solutions and just building creative campaigns. Right. And I think what you're talking about is obviously much more in that solutions-oriented world. How do you think about, or maybe even build skills within your team to distinguish between what that is and how you collaborate with other brands?
Yeah, I mean, I think that being in a media company and working with brands, it can be really complicated, right? Because what you're trying to do is make another brand work within your brand, right? It's not like being at an agency and just working with Coca-Cola. You have to make sure Coca-Cola works with Time Out and the audience gives a shit. Am I allowed to curse on here?
Yes.
Yes, it's encouraged.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay, good. And I think that's kind of the framing of it, right? When I'm teaching young people how to respond to an RFP, like why does our Time Out audience who just wants to go out care about Tazo tea? Why do they care? Because we learned how to put it into a cocktail. Or we figured when those downtime moments happen and the places where Gen Z is leaning into more like book club type culture, we figure it out, right? But we are telling Tazo tea or whatever, any kind of beverage, that we're going to show you how to work with our audience. And we're going to show you a way to make your brand successful and connect with our audience, because we are about building an emotional connection with our audience. And it's going to be through our content, video, social, whatever it might be, but we will bring your brand to life if you let us do it in the way that we want to do it. Do we get pushback? Of course. Do we sometimes execute things we kind of hate? Yeah, but we try our best to make sure. I mean, this is the reality of our work, right?
Yeah.
But we push as much as we can, and when the budgets get really high, we're very strong in what we feel is right.
So on that same vein, like advertisers are adapting to this sort of hybrid world where culture happens both on the feed and in a food stall. So
and in real time, right? Like it's happening so quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so stuff like that, and this is something I spoke about on the panel that kind of how we met. But I think that so the way that we create content, everything we do is through our content, right? We have two ways of creating editorial content. One way is leaning into a moment, and the moments that are coming up that we have every year, from Pride to Women's History Month, whatever that might be, or like next year, the big moment for us is going to be World Cup, right? It's huge for us. We're going to have watch parties. We're going to have the right food to have with different like games. We're going to lean into all the different countries and cultures, and it's going to be a thing. And we're really, really excited about it. That's one way we create content. The other way we create content is to lean into trends. So we'll hear from different bartenders, or we'll learn that now everyone's drinking an espresso martini. Everybody on the planet wants an espresso martini. This happened a couple of years ago. So we're going to create that content for you. Where do you get the best one? How do you make the best one at home? So I think always being on top of those trends and those moments and leaning into them, it's exactly what everybody wants because it's what's happening. So we use the data, and then we use the moment, and we create the content accordingly. And that's how we stay on top of everything. And that's why our edit and our content is so important. And by the way, what I think sometimes is getting lost in this world of AI is like that authentic content. Like, where is it?
Mm-hmm.
Everything looks the same. And that's why
everyone's an Amazon basic. Valerie and I were talking about this. I actually keep a Post-it over my desk. It says, authentically imperfect. When I have typos and things, I leave them in now because I want to prove that it's real.
Yeah. You know, I read an article like people aren't reading their emails anymore because they're all perfect and too good. So they just like if you're trying to reach out to someone on a higher level, their inbox is just filled with too much perfection. They can't differentiate. And now people are going back to writing notes and doing stuff like that. Like, I mean, it's, you know, all of this stuff has to be done within balance, right? Like everyone asks me all the time, well, how do you feel about AI and creativity? And I'm just like, well, creativity isn't just output, it's perspective, you know, it's taste, it's intuition, it's lived experiences. I mean, that's what creativity is. But anyway, did I go totally off? I don't even remember the question.
You were authentically imperfect there with that answer. Exactly. Although it was pretty perfect, actually. In retrospect.
No, I'm like, I want to like run through a wall with you. But anyway, so, you know, if you could redesign the media industry from scratch, knowing kind of what you know now, all your experiences, what's like the one thing that you would have built differently?
Oh my God, what a good question. I think from the beginning, I would have collapsed the wall between edit and commercial. We do it now and we still fight. I think from inception, if you had those two teams working together, a lot of the media companies wouldn't be dying. And the sad thing about a lot of media companies losing out on this time is you want that content because, like I said, it's a sea of sameness. You've got to be really, really careful. We're losing originality. We're losing a point of view. And it's because a lot of companies aren't surviving. And I think if from the beginning there had been enough foresight to say, don't put edit on a different floor. That was the weirdest thing for me at Condé and Hearst. Like, you just didn't have access. Let's all work together with the boundaries and the rules and the guidelines. I think there'd be a lot more that would have survived. I mean, did you see Teen Vogue? I think just shut its doors.
Yep.
How sad is that?
That was the last independent source of journalism I read. Right?
I mean, and if there's any generation right now that needs like the support is like young girls, like honestly, it's very, very sad.
Yeah, like original thinking and just something real to look at because they're not looking at anything real. It's a lot of crap on a feed. I think,
is that dictated though by this like corporate world, and need for immediate, you know, financial gratification from shareholders? Or is there really some, because I feel like knowing you now the way I do,
that brand
there's a spark here. How do you keep that spark alive? How do you do that?
That brand could have kept that brand alive. There's no freaking question. It's like same would have been for Time Out if they didn't adapt.
My spark is alive because I stay close to content that I love. I love eating and drinking and traveling. And that's how I stay really connected. You know, I've worked in fashion brands where I'm like, yep, I hate this. I can't do this. But when I'm in a brand where I really love and believe in the content, it's super helpful. And I've been really lucky. I don't know if this will be every job I ever have, but for now, I know that that's what's kept me.
Well, it sounds like you can't ever leave because you're having the time of your life. You're eating, you're drinking, you're eat, pray, loving everywhere. If you are going to leave, let me know and I will come take your job.
Okay.
Because I can also eat as well.
Can I make a suggestion? My sister just went to the Ritz down in Florida and stayed with a friend who works at a Marriott. So that would be a new alternative job, is getting deals on hotels.
Yeah.
Sorry, I digress.
No, I mean, hospitality is about the perks. I get it. I eat at a lot of restaurants for free. I don't mind staying at a hotel for free.
I know. Exactly. These days. So like Time Out's literally about helping people with the most, make the most of their time. So what does taking time out mean to you personally these days?
time out personally to me, I have 11-year-old twin boys.
Oh, wow.
Is literally shutting my bedroom door and Netflixing and chilling. Alone.
Oh, that's
alone.
amazing.
Alone time is my scarce commodity.
Dictating the content that you actually watch as well. So being alone
Yeah.
there with your Netflix, I know that's huge.
Yeah. Even though my algo is so messed up, they're all over it.
Well, that's, I don't think there's any way to bifurcate that until they, have accounts of their own.
Yeah.
But you find yourself, are you a scroller? Are you someone who spends a lot of time? Like, what content is in your algorithm now? Would we see a lot of just like AI generated dogs talking to each other like you would in mine? Or is there something else that's dominating the feed?
I buy a lot of things I shouldn't buy on Instagram. So a lot of skincare, a lot of makeup. But I love watching people cook things. A lot of cooking content. A lot of like hands and pans. Like, oh, I think I could do that. That sort of thing.
Have you seen the guy? He's a French pastry chef who makes chocolate and the sculptures out of chocolate.
Unreal.
Have you seen him?
Yes. I could watch stuff like that for hours, like building a whole man out of a cake. It's so crazy.
Unreal.
I feel like that guy should be in recreate him in every Time Out market around the world because I would spend all my money on anything that he creates. Yeah. But yes, I forgot. That is also that and AI dogs. That's what's dominating my feed.
Just like a window of him like doing things in the market. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he makes you feel like an underachiever. I just feel relaxed.
And then he eats his own stuff. Like he doesn't even sell it. He doesn't even put it anywhere. He makes the whole thing and then eats it.
I think that's the best part, though. It's for himself.
And his 35 million followers, by the way, in case you're
exactly. Yeah. And for his wallet.
He's having his cake and eating it too.
There you go. I love that.
Look, I don't know what your 11-year-olds want to do when they grow up or if they even talk to you about anything other than maybe wanting to be a social media influencer like my kids. But whether it's them or this next generation of talent that is entering the media world, whether it's as creators, as marketers, or I don't know, is there really a line between them anymore? But is there advice or guidance or, from your sage wisdom, something that you would impart on them or you wish someone had given you that advice in your early days?
Yeah, I mean, I think if I had known that aligning with the content I love would make the job more fun and didn't have to go through like 6 brands to get to it, that would have been nice because those options exist, especially when you're looking at like mid-manager level roles. If you love fashion, you should work in fashion in media. If you love beauty, be in the beauty world. It's exciting. And also you get so much free stuff. So if you love beauty, it's a great place to go. If you love like architecture and redecorating in homes, like that sort of design world, like if you work in the content you love, you'll have a much better experience. I really believe that.
Well, that is, look, we're all redefining our careers always, whether we change jobs, whether we are, moving into new industries. So I think that advice works not just for the youngins, but even the old timers like me. So let's move to the lightning round because this conversation has flown. Lightning round question. Where do I get the best espresso martini is the first question. What's the answer?
Yeah, there's so many really good ones. Honestly, I have one on the corner. It's a wine bar called Medi, but they make a very good espresso martini.
Okay.
I like
to
tequila.
Stay in my neighborhood. Oh yeah, a lot of people do. I actually like it with gin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You've been everywhere. Where is your favorite place to visit?
I love Sydney. It is a beautiful city, and I gotta say it has really, really good food. People don't realize like they're closer to Asia, so the Asian food's really good. It's the first time I tried a real like Filipino dish there. Now I understand where to go in the city for that, but I really love Sydney. I think it's beautiful. The beaches are beautiful. The people are nice.
I've never been. I have to put that on my list.
It's far, right? So I mean,
yeah,
it's a big trip.
Gotta find the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you get away with not checking luggage on a trip like that?
I can't. No. I mean, I can't go. I don't even go anywhere for 4 days. I like need everything. What if? What if?
I have that same scenario anxiety too. It's usually with my sneakers. Like I need to have a pair of sneakers for every scenario.
Yeah.
Do you have anything like that where you will bring way too many of your things on your trips based on where you go?
Yeah, like if I go to London, I bring too many coats because I'm like, is it going to rain? Is it going to be cold? Is it going to be a random sunny day where I just need a light jacket? Like I can't get the weather right there. So yeah.
Yeah, well,
It's
I don't think anyone can
coats.
who lives there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
when you travel and you're traveling by yourself, not with other colleagues or to like an event, is there something that you like to do in a new place for the first time when you're experiencing it? Like walk out and go do it. That's just you.
I don't even have a goal. Like when I travel alone, I just walk. I don't have a destination. I just walk. I mean, it's easy now, right? Because we even if we get lost, we can figure it out. But that's what I do when I'm alone or even with a colleague and we just separate. I just like to wander and find random stuff. I'll eat in random places, which is sometimes good and sometimes not good, but I enjoy doing that.
Me too. A saunter, a good old saunter.
Yeah.
Well, when I'm in a new place, I actually like to plan ahead and if I have like a day, I'll actually book a 4-hour trip on a double-decker tour bus. I do that now.
Oh, yeah.
I always used to hate those people. Like, oh, the tourists when you see them in New York City. But in another city, like, it's the best way to get around very quickly.
It's the best way. And you know what they have like in Europe now? They have like the little rickshaw guys. So I've booked those because like if you're in Lisbon, the streets are so tiny. And I think the locals don't like this setup, but I always book that little rickshaw guy because he can get all the way up the hill that I'm not trying to walk up. And he knows quite a lot. I mean, he's a tour guide and he'll like show you parts of the city. You would never know to go into this little alley because there's no tour bus getting in there.
Oh my gosh.
Don't you feel bad, though, making him do all that physical labor?
I know that's a lot.
No.
Going up those hills. He's used to it.
It's a motorized one. It's not like a bicycle rickshaw.
Oh, it's not like a bike shaw? Bike shaws, I feel bad for those guys. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
no.
Although they're in like
Those
the best
are-
shape of any human being.
Yeah, that's true. But no, those are mean.
Yeah.
So when you open your browser or open your phone and you're going to a timeout destination within your digital device, what's the content that you typically find yourself? Is it a section or is it like a type of article that you find yourself going to first? Or when you're like eating lunch as your off moment, what's your indulgent pleasure?
It's food. While I'm eating lunch, I'm looking at where to go to dinner.
Never satisfied. Always thinking ahead.
I'm like, this is delicious, but what's for dinner?
That's so funny. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about AI, and your relationship with it, but finish this sentence for me. I personally use AI to
write different emails to different regions, the same email to different regions. So I have to write, like, I deliver news or programming to the Barcelona office, Madrid office, Paris office, and I let AI just kind of rewrite that a little bit for me, not in the language, but just shifting some of the cultural nuances per region. Saves me a tremendous amount of time, honestly.
Wow, that's an interesting use case that I actually hadn't thought of, but good for you. And you know what? I'm sure they may not know that you do it, but they probably appreciate it because it feels authentic, even though it may or may not be. Right?
Well, the original.
And the outcome. The outcome matters more than any of it. So
Yeah. I check it. I add my own personality into it. It just takes the legwork out of it.
Hola, Barcelona.
See, they speak Catalan in Barcelona, so it's different.
Es verdad. I know. So last question, and this is the Snarketing Podcast, so it's kind of become our question, our go-to question in the lightning round. But is there a favorite or least favorite marketing buzzword that you either find yourself saying all the time or that you wish could be put into early retirement?
Authentic. I say it all the time, and I'm over it, and I'm sick of it. What does it even mean anymore?
Well, I have, I do have a good replacement for it, and it's the word genuine, but that's a conversation for another time.
Oh,
I know you
Anjali,
do. Way to plug it.
No, it wasn't a plug. I meant it with the E or without the E. But I will tell you that I am really grateful and appreciative, authentically and genuinely, that you've taken time out to connect with us.
Oh my gosh!
I wasn't waiting for that. It just came out.
This
Sorry,
sentence
guys.
won't end.
No. You know what? It just did. And on that note, Val, you got anything you want to finish up with?
I'm meeting you for the first time, and it's a pleasure. You are wonderful, and I feel like we're going to have many other conversations after this because I think we're a lot alike.
Sure. I want to thank you both so much. This is great. So much fun. So much fun. Yeah. So easy, actually. I was nervous.
Oh, don't be nervous. Remember, you can curse here.
I know. I wish I'd started there, guys. I love the F-bomb. I drop it so much.
We should have a bell when someone swears for the first time on their episode. Yeah. Anyway.
That's true. All right. Well, fuck you very much, Anjali. Thank you so much.
Well, that certainly was a great time out from everything else we have going on in our lives. If only I drank espresso martinis. So until next time, I'm Alan Telehenties, and this is the Snarketing Podcast.